Alright, hi. I'm not like a Star Wars expert or anything, but I'm just a math teacher from Fountain Valley, California, and here's a few things I noticed about the Star Wars trailer. First of all, check that out. Luke Skywalker is sporting an unabashed robot hand. He's not messing around with the Return of the Jedi fake flesh wrapped around the robot hand. He's just going straight robot hand. And how cool is it to see Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 in a scene together again? Pretty good stuff. Here's something else I noticed. This little guy kind of shakes his head right and left as if to say no. You might not have noticed it, but if you look closely, it's true. Also, in the scene where Luke Skywalker is talking about his sister having the Force, you see somebody hand a lightsaber to somebody else. Presumably the recipient of said lightsaber is Leia, but I noticed ever so slightly that if you catch for just a very minute second that the person doing the handing of the lightsaber is kind of interesting looking. They have a kind of orange and alienish looking face. And it's a kind of a smallish, kid-like looking person. In fact, I think we've seen people with faces like that before. Also, haven't we seen bracelets like that before too? Just something I noticed. Alright, I also noticed that speaking of things we've seen before, we've seen this guy in his stormtrooper stuff before, but in this new trailer we saw him take off his stormtrooper helmet first. But if you didn't notice, his stormtrooper helmet has there's like bloody fingerprints or something on there. Interesting. Okay. I also noticed that this stormtrooper seems a little distracted. And I'm guessing that this person is important for some reason. Also, who's that? I don't know. This guy apparently is not the only dark, menacing villain in the new movie. I noticed this guy. Check him out. He's like a Sith stormtrooper combo, or like a stormtrooper bounty hunter or something. I don't know. Also, doesn't the stuff in the background kind of look Death Star-ish? Look at this guy too. It's not the same guy as the other one, I don't think, but he also looks really cool. Haven't TIE fighter pilots pretty much always been cool looking? I think so. Speaking of TIE fighter pilots, what is this? Is this a new kind of TIE fighter? It looks different. And not all of the TIE fighters in the new trailer look like this TIE fighter does. Interesting. Also, why is it fighting against the stormtroopers? Also, yeah. Check this out though. The stormtroopers are firing at that weird-looking TIE fighter with red lasers, but that weird-looking TIE fighter is firing back with green lasers! Actually, upon further review, TIE fighters usually shoot green lasers, and stormtroopers usually shoot red lasers. But I noticed it. Speaking of TIE fighters shooting green lasers, apparently they always have, because even in this still from the teaser trailer from a couple months ago, TIE fighters were shooting green lasers at the Millennium Falcon. But in this still, the Millennium Falcon is flying towards the TIE fighters, not away from them, as opposed to this scene where this TIE fighter is chasing the Millennium Falcon into some miscellaneous wreckage. By the way, I don't think this miscellaneous wreckage is the wreckage of the downed Star Destroyer, because it just doesn't look like a reverse shot of the same thing. I don't know, look for yourself. It's like at a different angle to the ground, and it doesn't even look the same. But once they fly inside, and this poorly aiming TIE fighter starts shooting at the Millennium Falcon, it hits this piece of crossbar metal inside the downed starship, and the piece of metal starts exploding like a lot. Does it seem like this is exploding more than just like a piece of metal on an old dead ship should be exploding? Just something I noticed. Alright, finally, I noticed that in the end scene where Han says, "Chewie, I think we're home," I think they're on the Millennium Falcon. But they both got their blasters drawn. Why would they have their blasters drawn aboard their own ship? I don't know. And why would they both have their blasters drawn and Senor Solo is just like not seeming like he's in too much danger at all? I don't know. These are just things I've noticed. I don't know if any of this means anything, but maybe Han Solo is smiling and nodding because it just looks like Star Wars The Force Awakens is going to be super awesome. This trailer made me wet my pants the way that a Star Wars trailer back in the 80s would have made me wet my pants when I was a kid, and I am just super stoked, and I think you probably are too. That's all I have to say. Thanks for your time, and